we've got kind of a special set of JRZs this week that are going out to Paul. And the question I think Kerry posted is, are JRZs just for V8s? And the answer is no. Paul's got a V6, I think it's a 2012 V6 Mustang, that he's actually going to be a special guest next week to tell us about his adventures of the V6 Mustang and running against V8 Mustangs, which is, he's got kind of a cool story. But anyway, he's got a rear grip kit and front grip kit. He has some okay shocks and springs, but he's doing a whole banana. He's moving up to JRZs and the new rear suspension. He was one of the first 10. And what I wanted to show you, of course, with the JRZs, we do the same thing as the Strange I showed you last week. We've got the torsion release bearing, we got the main spring, the spacer, and then the helper spring. And then with the JRZs, you get this cool little adjuster on top. And then on the front, it's pretty much the same thing. And you get coilovers from me, and they come just like this, come pre-assembled, and I put an initial adjustment in them. You see, this is a single adjustable, so it's got rebound on the top. And first of all, I asked a question about adjusting single adjustable shocks, and that's like way too big of a question to try to do just on Saturday morning. I know we talk about that in the Speed Therapy Academy, and you know, shock adjustment, it's sort of like an art, magic, and guessing all at the same time. When you get shocks, I give you an initial adjustment, sort of like a base adjustment, and then along with that, there's a little nifty packet of stuff comes with JRZs. It's got my setup sheet on there. I don't know if you can see it or not, but it gives the springs, spring rates, and the initial adjustment, and then a little bit of a tuning guide, like 101 tuning. This is kind of unique because it's a V6, or it's a track car. So I dropped down from the 650 to a 600. We'll see how that works. If it's a little too much spring for them, we can always back that down to 550. But I want to see the more spring we put in the Mustang, the better they turn, the faster they are. And typically, with a live axle car, if it's a 600 front, I'm looking at 375, 400 rear, depending on a whole bunch of things: wheel size, tire compound, horsepower. I always do the front springs and then make an adjustment with the rear springs and how I want the car to work. Well, for this particular car, I don't know if you can see that or not. Front spring rate 600, rear spring rate 600. We'll talk about that when we talk about the new rear suspension. So you run the same spring rate front and rear, which is exactly what I do on my IRS cars, my 99 to 04 Cobra IRS cars. We'll run the same spring rate front and rear. If the front's too low, the rear might be 25 pounds higher in the back, but IRS cars will spring in the same front and rear. So here's the live axle Mustang with spring like an IRS car. You'll find out about that when we do the reveal. Something else, when we get this, you see a nice little kit. There's a little spanner wrench, and see this little packet with a little blue thing in there? It's a little extra I throw in. The adjuster knobs on the top, now you have to take them off to take the shock off or install it. I don't know if you can see a little tiny, itsy tiny hole. There's two set screws that hold the adjuster knob on, and they are a 1.5 millimeter set screw. Now, aren't too many people have 1.5 millimeter in the toolbox, so what I do is I include a 1.5 millimeter Allen, and that little blue paper on there is, I got really tired of going to my toolbox and digging through all my Allens to come up with the right Allen for JRZs. And I finally said, I'll just put this blue tape on it so I can find it right away. So, and it's also because it's so small, it makes it tougher to lose. So I just automatically, for the 1.5 millimeter Allens that we send out with the JRZs, I flag it just like I do my own. So, and then of course, you get stickers. We've got all the Strange stickers. They're the iBox stickers for shocks are in the bag. You get the JRZ stickers. And this is the cool thing about JRZs. They kind of come with this two mats on the top of the box, which are really handy for your bench. But I keep telling you about these are kind of built to order. Well, this set was hand built by and tested by. Okay, you guys can see that here. See that signature? Maybe wood, huh? Maybe wood something, but it was signed off by. This has to be BB. So every set of shocks is hand built to order and tested and then signed off, which make them, they're a really premium shock.